Bangladesh's first female Prime Minister Khaleda Zia dies at the age of 80 after prolonged illness. Bangladesh Interim Chief Yunus announced a 3-day national mourning comes amid growing turmoil in Bangladesh. Let's bring you more on that story. There is mourning in the country, Bangladesh, ever since the news broke out this morning at about 6 o'clock. Remember, her son has been in Dhaka for the last few days. The nation is swept in grief as Bangladesh mourns former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia, a towering political figure in the nation's politics. She died at the age of 80 earlier today after prolonged illness. BNP sources have told NDTV that Zia will be buried next to her husband, late President Zia Rehman's grave in Dhaka. Interim Chief Yunus has announced that 3-day national mourning. World leaders have reacted to Zia's death, with Prime Minister Modi recalling their warm meeting in the year 2015 while recognizing her contributions to Bangladesh's development. Bangladesh Chief Yunus has said Bangladesh has lost its greatest guardian, and Sheikh Hasina has called it a profound loss. Her passing comes at a time of political and social upheaval in Bangladesh, with protests, violence, atrocities against minority Hindus and international scrutiny on the rise in the nation.
It's a sad day for your party, of course, for the country as well. How do you remember Begum Khaleda Zia?
Yeah, it is very much painful for us. Khaleda Zia has been passed. We expected that she will be able to see the election, but before that she died. All the nation is basically shocked. Tarique Rehman is taking over the role now, and we're expecting that next election he will win. We want to see him as our next Prime Minister.
I have nothing to say about this day. This is very much painful, and all the inhabitants of Dhaka city and all over the world, they are shocked very much. Actually, it's a great loss to us. Begum Khaleda Zia is not only a Prime Minister, he's a mother. Actually, all the young guys and all the Bangladeshis, he's the mother.
This massive crowd and the massive security deployment that you see behind me is at right side the hospital where 80-year-old former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the first woman Prime Minister, Begum Khaleda Zia, breathed her last at about 6 a.m. this morning here in Dhaka. You would see a lot of her supporters of the BNP, people remembering her, many emotional as well. This now entire area has been cordoned off, and it is actually out of bounds for people, those who do not have any business in the hospital. Right, I will just first show you the hospital where she was admitted for the last 36 days. There were multiple problems that she was facing, and in the last few days, in the last 4 to 5 days, her condition was only worsening. Her son, Tarique Rehman, who has returned after a 17-year exile to Bangladesh just 5 days ago, in fact, was in the hospital, and along with his entire family. Yesterday, he asked the BNP supporters and others to pray for Begum Khaleda Zia. But in the morning, the situation was entirely different. He was still a short time back, was inside this hospital along with his wife and daughter. Other relatives of Khaleda Zia were also inside, her sister and also her brother. Now, Tarique Rehman has left from the hospital. He has gone to the BNP headquarters at the Neapolitan area. And on the other hand, what we're being told, a team of the BNP senior leaders has gone to meet the chief advisor, Mohammed Yunus, for the arrangements of the final rites and the burial of Khaleda Zia. In fact, what we have been told is that she would be buried next to her husband, former President General Zia-ur-Rahman, at the same burial spot, Chandrama Udyan in Dhaka. When all those things will take place, the information is yet to come. But with her passing away, it is clearly an era of politics, of democracy, and the struggle for Bangladesh to remain a democratic country has come to an end. A bipolar Bangladesh where the battle of the two Begums, on one hand Khaleda Zia, on the other Sheikh Hasina, now with Sheikh Hasina in exile and Khaleda Zia no more comes to an end. You would see those posters of tribute for Khaleda Zia and a lot of her supporters here right outside Evercare Hospital. This also comes at a time when Bangladesh is heading for a very crucial elections on February 12th. The impact of her death will have a huge footprint in the upcoming election. With Mourns, Ankit Tyagi from Dhaka, NDTV.
All right, we've got you the ground report, but I have someone with me who knows Bangladesh really well, Ambassador Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, former High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining me on Breaking Ground. My first question, does Khaleda Zia's death formally end the two Begums era in Bangladesh's politics, sir?
Yes, in a way, yes, because both are now out of politics, one by passing on, and the other is in exile. I mean, it's something like what happened to her son who went into exile in London. So Hasina is in the same position. But her son is likely to carry on her legacy and that of his father. So I think the next elections will be crucial for BNP. And I believe that they do now have an edge because a sympathy vote will also be generated for them.
Ambassador, what is the future of BNP without Zia as both as its ideological face and political nucleus?
The party will remain because it has developed an ideology that was started by General Zia Rehman. And Tarique will continue the same ideology, I presume, with with whatever changes that are now required given the new circumstances.
I'll give you a moment to clear your throat. It could just be the pollution that we're all suffering from in the national capital. But I want to understand from you, how would you define Khaleda Zia's legacy from the vantage point of India-Bangladesh relations?
Well, she contributed as actually in collaboration with Hasina, two parties to overthrow a dictator and usher in democracy in 1991. And she became the first prime minister after that. Then she became prime minister once again. In between, Hasina was prime minister. So they have been switching that role for some time. Then they lost the election because of mistakes they made in their when they were in government from 2001 2006, which was probably not a very good period for them because of various problems, and including with India, because of their support to Indian insurgents and helping the ISI to set up insurgent camps, etc. I was there from 2000 till 2002, so I saw that phase. Later, of course, during the period when there was a caretaker administration, they again, tried to pack the caretaker government with their own nominees, and finally, I think the army moved in because they had gone tired of, both Khaleda Zia and Tarique, and generally the army did not have a good relationship with Tarique.
Talking about Tarique, my last question to you, ambassadors, how do you see the relations between India and Bangladesh playing out now? Zia, of course, has passed away. You have a son there who perhaps will be the successor in all likelihood. But you have Hasina here in India. How do you see that equation playing out? There's so much changing. There's so much of a churn happening.
If BNP comes to power, then I presume Tarique will become the prime minister. And India has dealt with him earlier when he was more or less a parallel power, pole during the previous time when his mother was prime minister. And India has, I think, been in touch with him, or maybe they have been in touch with India and some kind of, I think, conversation has taken place. I believe that the mistakes of 2001, 2006 are hopefully not repeated, because that will again cause problems in bilateral ties. And I think the lessons have been learned, and a new beginning can be made. Bangladesh and India need each other. We are interdependent in so many sectors. And I think, but there will be other players, because the BNP has a lot of other pro-Pakistani and pro-Chinese members. So I think there will be a balancing act that Tarique will have to do in
Yes.
future when he's the Prime Minister.